And that's why I have to check myself and I have to have people around me to know who I am, because sometimes you can get caught up in comparison.
Yeah.
And then comparison is the thief of joy.
You ever feel like no matter how much you're doing, it is just not quite enough? Same. And that's exactly what we're talking about in today's episode. I am joined by the brilliant, the hilarious, the wise, and so real Eboné Allman. She is the host of the Professional Homegirl Podcast, where she talks with women who have extraordinary stories. And that reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles, nor are we alone in our triumphs. And in this conversation, we'll talk about the emotional toll of doing all the things, the power of imagination as a form of faith, and why so many of us, especially Black women, are just feeling just straight up tired and raggedy. I didn't even introduce myself. So hello, and welcome back to the Be Well Sis podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cassandra Dunbar. How has life been treating you? But more importantly, how have you been treating yourself? So if you are feeling tired, if you are feeling like you're doing all of the things and you're not quite where you want to be, this conversation is absolutely for you. So before we hop into this conversation, just a reminder to go ahead and follow us on all the places. If you are not following this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and do so. If you are not following us on social media, on Instagram, I'm at BeWellSis_podcast. And I'm on YouTube. We are trying to get to our first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you would like to actually see me essentially be a bobblehead, because I just be nodding away, go ahead and join us there. As always, thank you so much for joining. I am so glad you're here. Be well, sis. Now let's get into the conversation. So today I have somebody really special on the podcast because she is literally one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. For real. Like, Eboné is the host of the Professional Homegirl Podcast. And on that podcast, we see a different side of you. So when I met you in real life, I'm like, she is hilarious. I laughed so hard. But let me rewind it. How are you today? How are you doing?
You know, besides feeling like a $2 hoe, I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see you. Your pretty face.
Yes, your pretty face.
How you doing? Good?
You know, I was telling you behind the scenes, I'm exhausted and we all are, like, so damn tired. But yeah. But I want to bring it back a little bit. So I always ask people in the beginning of the show, how are you doing in 3 ways? So PMS, so physically, mentally, and spiritually, like in this moment. So you can go as deep or as not as you want to, whatever feels good.
Physically, what, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest?
No.
Like, what you want, sis? You want adjectives? Or you want to get straight to it?
No, so physically, how are you feeling? Do you feel like good physically, like, or not so much because you're exhausted, or do you have like a cold, like whatever? Mentally, just where's your mind at right now? And then spiritually, just how you feeling, like in your spirit, in your soul. You know what I mean? So, how do you want to describe that? You want to give me numbers? You can do that too.
So physically, I don't feel too bad. I spoke to you earlier. I'm really like exhausted, but I don't feel like my bones ain't aching type of energy.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So I feel okay physically. Mentally, I'm definitely exhausted, but I told myself that because, as you know, as an entrepreneur who also have a 9-to-5 and, you know, you have kids and I'm outside. So,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that just trying to balance everything has been making me question if I've been doing enough. And that has been exhausting. But I'm like, girl, like, you doing more than enough. Like, and so mentally, and I'm pretty sure we'll touch on that a little bit later, but mentally, I'm getting back to I'm getting back to myself.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes I sway back and forth with how I'm feeling. And I feel like sometimes I talk myself into thinking that what I'm doing is just not enough. So that goes into spirituality and how I've been feeling spiritually, and just like resetting my mindset and just knowing that, you know, imagination and my relationship with God has really been my anchor.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. So I've been going back into like listening to like spiritual not readings, but spiritual what's the word? Like videos and
Like
lectures.
sermons and things like
Yes,
that.
like reprogram myself and to wire myself because I feel like sometimes, especially with social media, just everything's just moving so fast, and then
Yes.
you've been on the same two step, like you got a nice little flow going, but you be feeling like it's just not enough.
Yep.
So I've been doing that, and also just reading my Bible, and then also just being around love, like being around people who are reminding me of who I am when I can't see
Hmm.
myself.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful and powerful.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the imagination piece. Like, what does that mean exactly? Because I feel like I am just not like my imagination is not where it used to be or what it should be maybe.
you
So what does
tired.
that
That's
mean?
why you
That part.
tired.
That part.
Well, I always say if you believe in the invisible, you can do the impossible. And
Hmm.
so for me, that has been something that I have always been telling myself over and over again. And I feel like, you know, I always tell people the difference between spirituality and religion is codependency, where spirituality is accountability. So for me, God and I, we have a partnership. Like you didn't already show me the vision. So for me, that means it's already done. I just got to get in alignment with your timeline so we can both be on the same page. So
Right.
I think that's the reason why imagination is so important. And that's why I feel like, okay, Eboné, so you need to reprogram yourself. So what is going to fuel your imagination? Because right now I feel depleted. So
Mm-hmm.
doing different things to help me, like, feel inspired, because if I'm inspired, then I can imagine the craziest, amazing things. And if I'm already imagining it, it's done.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a bar, babe. You got me over
You
here preaching.
understand? Listen, listen. This is why I like you, okay?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And that's
Right?
that's real because I feel like because I've just been so tired like physically, I just don't
Mhm.
have room to like imagine things. And that brings me to when we're talking just, behind the scenes for a second. You said that you had your conspiracy theory hat on about how we all
Yeah.
tired. So talk to me about why you think we all tired.
So the reason why I think we're tired, y'all, is because as quiet as it's kept, I believe that they putting something in the air because every person of color, it's real when white people say they tired. And I ain't never heard no white person say they tired. I think they really put something in the air to make people tired. And watch, when this comes out 10 years later and they confirm that they was spraying something, y'all gonna be like, yo, the Eboné was right.
They're
I
going to declassify the CIA files or whatever.
Exactly,
Yes.
because why is everybody so tired? Like, why are
Yeah.
we working to the fullest of our strength to get things done? And that can be as simple as a 9 to 5. It can be as simple as just getting out the bed. Like, as soon as you wake up, people be like, I'm tired.
Hmm. But you know what? I don't even think that's like far fetched what you're saying because it may not necessarily be in the air, but I think it could be like in all the things that's coming at us, like on social media, the news, and
Absolutely.
then our personal stuff. It's like the more tired the people are, the more exhausted they are, the less reactive we're going to be, right? Like
Exactly.
keep them distracted, keep them worn out, tired that now they're not going to rise up against the foolishness that's going on. So
Exactly. And then if
yeah.
you are your homegirls and we talk about we tired, we gonna always be tired because ain't nobody got no energy. And what is powerful? What they say, you hang around in a circle and show you who you are. We some
True.
tired ass people.
True. True. Yeah, stay tired. What's going on over
Tired.
there?
You ain't never got no energy.
Oh goodness. But I also want to touch on what you mentioned earlier, and you were saying how you feel like you aren't doing enough at some points. And no, that's not true. Like I think that energy is like manufactured for us to feel like this. You know what I
It
mean? You rattled off all the things that you are currently doing, like you are one person. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But then that's why I have to check myself and I have to have people around me to know who I am, because sometimes you can get caught up in comparison.
Yeah.
And in comparison is the thief of joy. So
Yeah.
I didn't accomplish a lot of things by myself, but yet I see somebody else that's within reach of me that's
Mm-hmm.
being able to accomplish so much more, and it's being received by so many people, it's being recognized by so many people. So I think that for me, I think that I just have to trust my process. I need to
Yep.
continue to stay in love with my process
Yep.
and just focus on me, because I think that it's okay to be inspired by other people. Like I'm inspired and motivated by a lot of people, but I think that sometimes there's a thin line between inspiration and comparison.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I was having a talk with one of my other homegirls and kind of about the same thing. And I was like, you know what? It's so important to remember where we were, you know? Like I think because you made these goals and you checked them all off, you forgot that at one point where you are right here, right now,
Right.
was something that you imagined that you aspired to be, a couple years ago. So I think it's super important to constantly check back and be like, oh, dang, I wanted to do this. I already did it, and I moved on to the next thing because somebody's looking at you and it's just like, dang, I want to get to that place too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what's so annoying about that?
Tell
Because
me.
even though we are standing in the middle of our prayers, why can't there just be enough? Why do I need to have more?
You know,
That is so annoying. Because now I'm
you
stressed
know,
out, now I'm working on the next goal. It's like, for me, sometimes I wonder, like, when will it be enough?
yeah,
When will it be enough? Because I'm getting older. I want to have a family. Like, I have so many personal goals that I would like to accomplish as well. But yet I'm going hard with my professional goals and my business goals and all this other shit. And I'm just like, Eboné, like, when is it enough? Like, I think about Beyonce. Girl, you're nigga a millionaire. Why are you going on tour every day? Like, when is it enough?
billionaire. I was just talking to my husband about this, and I was just like, if Beyonce, who's a billionaire with a B, married to another billionaire with a B, okay, and she stayed touring, she stayed selling her shit, like maybe I need to be like selling some shit too. Like maybe
Yeah.
I'm not doing enough because her kids gonna be
Yeah.
great.
And I
Like,
think that what keeps us going. But I also think that one of the prayers that I've been asking of God is to send me my people. Because I
yeah,
think that when you have your people and you got people that can see your vision, it's over. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I think that's the reason why people like her. And I'm pretty sure she had her moments when she fallen in and out with her craft, out of love with
Mhm.
her craft. But I think that's the reason why it's important to have a solid foundation so you can be able to imagine and
Yeah.
inspire. Because when you by yourself, all you can do is work like a $2 hoe. You know what I'm saying? At least for Beyonce, you know, that $2 hoe got some coins. Leisure. For us, this is survival. We hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just depends,
But I
man.
also want to remind you too that your goals and what success looks like to you might change
It
because I think
always,
about like even in my own situation mine has changed several times. Like there's been several iterations of what I thought success looked like, and then
yeah,
maybe I reached that level of success and then I was just like, this it looks good from a distance. I'm here and it doesn't feel good, so let me pivot and figure out what feels better. I think as women, as people, even we're just always evolving, especially when we're trying to like we're intentional about getting to know ourselves. Like in that moment we learn and unpeel new layers. So
I'm
you know what I'm
tired of the
saying?
layers. I want to be basic. I just want to be basic.
I
At this
know.
point, I'm ready to get put up. Let me get a. No, once I get a man with some money, it's a wrap. Y'all ain't gonna see me no
You'll
more. I
say that, but I don't see that for you.
know I'm lying. I be off their ass working like I ain't got no man or money.
Or I just feel like you'll just do different things, like, especially knowing you and how you give back to like your elementary school and like philanthropy is important to you. Like, you're just gonna go hard doing that. Like, I think part of it is just our personalities. Like,
Yeah,
like I stopped fighting the fact that I'm the type of girl that I need to have a project at all times.
I know.
And that's just who I am, and I'm embracing it. Like, yes, I fill my plate up with all the things because it feels good to like have something to do. And I think,
Yeah, because if I don't have nothing to do, I get in so much trouble.
hello, I used to get in trouble. Now
Okay,
okay, I'm
tell me a
reformed.
story.
Okay.
'Cause I know you got some good trouble stories.
Listen, I'm like, God really does. What's the saying? God protects fools
He
and
protect
babies.
babies and fools, baby.
Hello, because
And
I
I ain't
was
no
I was
baby.
a fool. My
Listen,
gosh.
I'm so happy he saved a little wench like me, man. Because I used to be outside. But I be telling people, don't force God's hand, baby. Because when that big
Hello.
man move, it's a wrap.
Oh goodness. So talk to me. So you said you've been working like a $2 hoe. What have you been doing to pour into yourself? So you said that you've been listening to sermons and really get in touch with the spirituality. What have
Mm.
you been doing outside of that? Like just for
Well,
fun even?
you know what it is? It's also getting nice outside, and I love to walk. So, and it's so crazy because I was talking to one of my homegirls and we was kikiing and we both walked, we do like little walks together, whatever. And so I love to walk near water because water gives me hope because water is never ending. And then I had an aha moment. I was like, oh my God, I remember being a little girl and I used to go on walks with my grandma. She used to take me on walks with her, or I used to be on the swing and she would just keep walking and walking around, whatever. So I just feel like it's just so funny how you're so connected to people and it serves you as a reminder, and you just be like, I don't know, sometimes I just be, because of my past, you know this, but because of my past and a lot of trauma, it blocked a lot of things out for me. So even at this big age, and my grandma used to walk all the time, I couldn't even remember that until just refreshing my memory and having a conversation with her. So that is something that I really enjoy, is walking. And I don't know, I just like to be outside. And I'm not even an outdoor type of girl, but just being outside, being around the sun. Like I never was one of those people who was affected by the weather, but this year in New York, this past winter, it was brutal.
Yeah.
It was
I got the business for sure.
What? I couldn't even write my list because I couldn't stop crying. Like it was very harsh. So that is something that I've been doing, just going outside, just feeling the sun, also drinking a little wine here and there.
Okay.
Just being around my loved ones. Like, I just love to laugh. Like, I just want to just have fun. So whatever fun is at, I'm there.
I get it. And you're the life of the party too.
Listen, can you tell them how I had y'all cracking up? Like, it was a group of us.
Yes.
I could charge y'all for my joke.
Yes. And I would have paid too. I would have paid. So the way that we finally connected, like for real, in person was we went to, we were invited to, I don't know what it's called, but the Celebration of Hope down in Memphis for St. Jude. So it was a ton of audio professionals, podcasters. So our little podcast group, like we clicked up from the beginning, and you are hilarious. Like, what's funny about you is that I would be thinking the thing, I just wouldn't say it. You'd say it. And I'm like, okay. I don't know if...
I think you're always thinking the thing that I would say. Yes. And then everybody would just start laughing. I'm like, I knew these niggas was thinking that.
yes, we was. And we didn't say it though. I'm like, I don't know if you should say that out loud. You didn't give a damn. And I loved it.
I know. And that's something else I want to start. I mean, I feel like I'm always me. But I feel like, obviously, in certain spaces, you have to be mindful. And as you know, my vocabulary can be quite colorful.
And it's beautiful. Love it.
Me too. So I just think that, like, showing people different sides of me. Because like you said, even on my show, I do incorporate some of my, like, jokes and my sense of humor into some of the stories. But especially if the story allows me to. But even if it don't, I always try to figure out how I can put the candy in the medicine.
Yeah.
So that's something I definitely want to encourage myself to do more, because I'm like, I'm funny.
Very funny. Like literally one of the funniest people I have ever met. Like very, very funny. But to your point though, I think the subject matter of what you talk about on the podcast often is pretty serious, right? So it's hard to balance. I could imagine, allowing and creating a space that's safe for your guests to like share like really serious things and hard conversations, and also like, make a little jokey joke. I think it's hard.
Niggas think everything's a joke. Because, no lie, I did a recording last night. And just to give you a synopsis of the story, I interviewed this girl. And the name of my show is the Professional Homegirl Podcast. Please listen so I can keep these checks coming in. Thank you.
Yes.
And so, make a long story short, she accidentally took someone's life. So, yeah, it sounds crazy, but you really got to listen to her story. And her story kind of made me emotional because what you don't know, you just don't know. Yeah. And especially, I did my research and I watched the other interviews, and something told me to ask her about race. And I hate to always think about race when it comes to certain situations, but unfortunately, the race card is always very
truly
an important factor in situations. Yeah. And you guessed it. It was a race card, and being that she was a Black woman and she didn't have any funds or anything, she ended up going to jail. And the mess, I want to curse on your show,
you can curse, that's fine.
Okay. The fucked up situation about her situation was a white man did the exact same thing. He took 2 lives, okay? So that's double homicide. And he didn't go to jail. He got fined, and that was it.
Okay, so can you reveal what she did to take somebody's life? Oh no, that's the episode. Don't tell us. Okay. Okay,
Okay,
no
make a
problem.
long story short, she got into a really bad car accident, right?
Gotcha.
And when she got into a car accident because a white man cut her off. So she had no choice but to have a head-on collision with the traffic that was coming towards her. So in the midst of all this, and remind you, she was damn near paralyzed after the situation. So her family knew that somebody had passed away, but they didn't want to tell her because she's going through her own situation of trying to get her legs together. So she went through 32 surgeries.
Oh
She's
my
doing,
gosh.
like it's a crazy story. Remind you, this is a law abiding citizen. She never got into any trouble, and she was a correctional officer. So girl, I'm telling you, it is so crazy. So to make that story short, a year later, she's still going through surgery, whatever. Like the doctor was so stressed out because he had to literally rebuild her legs. And how he rebuilt her legs was using metal rods in
Rods,
her
yeah.
legs. Right. So a year later, the police calls her, was like, we need you to come to the station to make a statement. So she thinks she just going to the statement to say what's going on, all this other stuff. And they was like, now you under arrest. They charge her, despite her, a Spanish woman who was there, who was in the car, who also got affected, and another car that was pretty much agreeing or corroborating with her story, saying that this man cut him off. But the fact that this man was white, and then she lived in one of these little towns, and the person, unfortunately, who lost his life, he was white as well, and his family was like, no, she needs to go to jail.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
What? So was there any substance? Like, was she like under the influence of anything when this
She
happened?
was not drunk. She was not high. She was on her way to work.
Ooh, that's a horror story.
That is a horror story, and that's why when I goes back to when we first started, when I had my moments of feeling like I'm not doing enough and things of that nature, and when I hear these stories, it's like, these stories need to be told because your life is not your own. So we need to encourage people to share their stories because you can save somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Like, don't let that situation be in vain.
Oh my gosh, I'm stunned.
I'm telling you, I was like, and I was exhausted last night. But when I'm like, girl, you got my attention. I'm like, what happened?
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't ask her about the person who lost his life was white, but obviously we Black, so I know where she was going with it. But when we got off there, I said the person who lost his life was white. She said, "Yep." She said, and that family went in on me, like they wanted to make sure that I was, if not in the prison, at least under the prison. Yep. And this girl she don't even have a record until now.
And she was a corrections officer, and she was injured herself, and there was no substance. That's not fair. And not only that, like, I'm sure her own, just as a normal person, like your own conscience, like you feel a way, even if it wasn't your fault, like, dang, somebody
Absolutely.
died.
Right. Because she was like, damn, like, am I a murderer? And like, she went through it. And that's when she talked about, and that's one thing I love about Black people. Like, Black people love God.
Amen. Amen.
That's it. The church say amen. Because she talked about just rebuilding her relationship with God and just like finding peace in this entire situation. So I was like, wow, God bless you, girl. And then being in jail, she was in a wheelchair. And I learned through her that women jails are not wheelchair accessible.
Accessible? Oh my goodness.
So could you imagine?
No. That's hell.
Girl.
Oh my gosh.
Girl, so not only are you handicapped, but you used to be a CEO, which nobody knew until after she left. Like, that is scary.
No, that's literally hell. Like, what?
Yeah. It's so good. Like, it's so good. I cannot wait for you to hear it.
So I will definitely drop the podcast information down in the show notes. Please go listen. And you tell stories that are similar to this too, not like in this, like, especially like this case for sure, but like just really like extreme things. I'm just like, wait, what now? Like, what's going on? How do you find these people? Like, you're just constantly looking in the newspaper. Like, where do you find folks to?
One thing I have learned, people love to tell their business on YouTube, child. I love
so on YouTube. Okay, gotcha.
My snacks, I be going down a rabbit hole. I'm like, what happened, girl? I gotta get Shorty on the show. Because it's like, you would never think that some of the people that I talk to, like sometimes people that hit me up and they're like, are these stories real? And I'm like, yeah, girl, like as far as I know, like, because you can tell when somebody's lying. I'm like, these people are not lying, but then that's why for me, like, I always wanted the professional homegirl to be the woman that I needed during tough time. And I feel like that's exactly what she is. Like the professional homegirl is a pink print to Black womanhood. And I feel like with these stories, like, how can you not be inspired? Like, shorty, another woman can walk now. So now
wow.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like, and even when I'm having a hard time, like, I go back to my old episodes and I'm just like, damn, like, girl, you
If
cannot.
they've been through all of this, like,
Exactly.
this day, this too shall pass. For sure. For sure. Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
Right? It's, girl, I'm telling you, the same way you looking, that's how I was looking last night. I was like, what?
I'm just like, how did she, like, what crime did she commit? That's what I'm confused about. Like, it's an accident.
Exactly. I believe she was charged with danger to public safety or something.
Oh my goodness. Jesus, give her a ticket and keep it moving. That is so scary.
And the crazy thing is, this is equivalent to tickets. So if you don't pay, girl, I'm telling you. And that's why I think that, like, it's so dope that we have platforms like yourself and I and other of our pod family that we know to, like, really diversify the stories that we telling, because you just never know who's going through something. And like, girl, you just
And what's
never know.
scary is that, like, this could easily be any one of us, right? Like,
in the blink of an eye, she was going to work.
Yeah. Yep.
Going to work. She was literally down the street from her from the damn prison.
Jesus. Oh my
Could you
gosh.
imagine?
Oh my gosh.
Child.
Like the storytelling, like, helps us to, like, really I can't even talk.
Tired.
Empathize.
The air
Listen.
baby.
Okay. Can really empathize with those that are going through stuff, because you can't
Yeah.
help but see yourself in other people once they, like, speak up and say, this happened to me. It's like,
I'm
damn.
telling you. And that's why I'm so thankful for the vision I have with the professional homegirl, because it literally, despite how tired I am, like, having these conversations and kikiing with different women from, like, all over the world, like, it constantly reminds me of my why.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Same. Like,
yeah.
I have not, like, there would be no other way for me to make the connections and meet the people that I have met had it
Right.
not been just podcasting.
That's a
And
fact.
it's been such a blessing. And to your point, it is tiring, just because there are other things that we have to do to keep this moving. Outside of just hopping behind the microphone, it's exhausting. It is tiring. On top of the things that we have going on in real life too, outside of the podcast.
Yeah. Listen, I be feeling like I'm trying to find a cure for an unknown disease when it comes to podcasting. The podcast be having me feeling like we gotta find a cure or we're not gonna make it. That's how I
This is an
feel.
emergency.
And now when you got network, it's just like, girl, where is the cure? Eventually stress, okay? I don't think people understand. That's why a lot of people don't make it to this end game. Like, podcasting is for people who with longevity, who want to just slow and steady, because it is no joke. It's
and kind of hard headed too, because I feel like I keep, like, bumping up against these walls. I'm just like, nope, I have to get through. So you got to be tenacious with it.
Tenacious. Oh my God.
A mess. Not about to find a cure.
That's what it feels like, girl. And I feel like I gotta find 2 types of cure, like for this blood type, for that blood type. Like, it be so stressful. Like, and that's why I be telling people, like, people think that because we're with networks and stuff, like, we are in a better space than what we were when we first started. But it's also, it requires a lot of work, because we've seen what podcasting has done for so many people. Like, and we saw it in real time. Like, people are millionaires and they was able to create other streams of income. They don't even have nothing to do with podcasting. So I'm the type of person, if I see God blessing this person, I'm like, well, I know he got me next, because he in the name. You know?
Yep.
But it's a lot of work when it comes to this.
But thank you. I always love talking to you.
Same.
So where can the people find you, support, follow, all of those good things?
Child, outside on the corner.
Stop.
Begging for some help. But no, you can follow me at the Professional Homegirl on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, child, and then also follow me on Instagram at the PhD Podcast. And then please make sure you support and download the Professional Homegirl Podcast wherever you get your audio from, because I always say you never know how your storyline can be someone else's lifeline.
Really and truly. Thank you. Y'all go ahead and support, leave 5-star ratings and reviews, all of those good things too.
Yes.
I'm a believer in ratings and reviews, so
Same.
do that for that show and do that for this one if you haven't yet. Thank you for listening to this episode of Be Well Sis. If you'd like to get in touch with us, there's a link in the show notes. Be Well Sis is hosted by me, Dr. Cassandra Dunbar, and produced by Edit Audio. Don't forget to hit follow so you never miss an episode. Until next time, be well, sis.